Thank you, everybody. We're so glad. We got a great audience here. You are not going to believe who has tried to get tickets to the show today. Out front of our theater here in Hendersonville, just outside of Nashville, people have to get their tickets in advance. And there was a gentleman who tried so hard to get into the show tonight. We took a picture of him. We want to show it to you. There he was out there all by himself today. Tried to get in, but at least he was dressed for the cold. Good for him. We told him if he comes back next week, we'll try to squeeze him in to our audience.
Wow. He wanted a recount on the tickets.
He did. And he may get it, too. All right, what a week. Joe Biden became the 46th president on Wednesday. And he said he wanted to fight as hard for the people who didn't vote for him in order to promote unity. But then he proceeded to imply that anyone who voted for President Donald Trump was a racist, a white nationalist, or an imbecile who needs to be deprogrammed and re-educated. Boy, that really warmed the hearts of 74 million people. Now, look, I'm not going to spend the next 4 years screaming that Biden is not my president. I think that's ridiculous, because he is my president. I honestly can't fault Joe Biden, even for issuing a stack of executive orders that undid pretty much everything Donald Trump did by executive orders in his 4 years as president. Because as we all should know, elections have consequences. So with a stroke of a pen, Joe Biden opened the borders to illegal immigrants who are now rushing to get in so we can educate them, give them health care, let them vote, and compete with your kids for jobs. He stopped the Keystone Pipeline. That means fuel prices in the U.S. are going to jump up. We're going to tick off Canada. Just killed 11,000 U.S. jobs immediately, and it'll return us from being energy independent to once again having to beg the Saudis for oil. Now, this really helps the Russians, who've all been bankrupted by the Trump energy policies, which put America first. So for all the lies told about Donald Trump colluding with the Russians, it turns out that Russia's real friend ain't Donald Trump, it's Joe Biden. I mean, that's true. In all, in his first hours as president, Joe Biden signed about 17 executive orders to undo the policies of Donald Trump. And let's just be honest, that's what happens in an election. You don't just lose power, you change direction. And if you just liked Joe Biden's personality more than Donald Trump's, then hopefully you won't mind paying for it. And you will pay for it. Yeah. But it is not the big government economic policies that are going to disturb me the most. It really isn't. It's endangering our ally Israel by getting back into the deal with Iran, the world's largest sponsor of state-owned terrorism. It's pushing a pro-abortion agenda that believes that it's normal and okay to take the life of a baby right up until the moment of birth and force you to pay for that horrific procedure with your tax dollars. It's forcing institutions and schools to play along with this fiction that a person's gender can be decided by just imagining it to be, regardless of the science of biology, as well as the Bible that says that there are two genders, male and female. But don't expect to be given the truth about what Joe Biden does or doesn't do from the media. No, no, no. Their hate of Trump was so intense that even after mocking him for saying that we would get a vaccine before the end of the year, when he launched Operation Warp Speed, which he delivered, and they dived into their arrogance and never admitted that they were wrong, or have they, or will they ever give him any credit for that? Look, our country is truly divided. And while I hope President Biden will try to bring the nation together, he can't if he doesn't recognize that 74 million of us see the world a little differently. But we're not racist. White supremacists are nativist. We love God, we love our families, and we love our country. And you know what? Yeah. We actually think America is good. Not perfect, but good. And a whole lot better than it was. And I guess even the leftists are starting to agree with us. You know how I know that? The leftists are starting to realize America's a great country because when Lady Gaga sang the national anthem at the inauguration, not one person took a knee. How about that? Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.